Hello, T-News not quite live, but we're there. Hello everybody, welcome to the Hawthorns. Good evening. As you can tell, a bit of a late arrival for us this evening, so apologies for that. But it means you have seen the team, which is rolling down your screen. And hey, better late than never, isn't it? As they always say, good things come to those who wait. And I'm sure you've all been waiting with a lot of anticipation for our arrival. But we are here. Let's bring you that Norwich City team news. If you have missed it, there's 3 changes for them. Kovacic in goal, Fisher, McConville, Darling and Krezene are the back 4. Matson and McLean, the ever-present midfield 2. Springett starts on the right. Ali Ahmed gets another go on the left, with Oscar Schwartau as a number 10 behind Jovan Makama. The subs-bench, Grimshaw, Stacey, Medic, Cordoba, Wright, Jurasek, Slimani, Giallo and Chris Goran. Paddy, good evening. We made it, first and foremost. 3 changes for Norwich City. I mean, Philippe Clement said yesterday, in the interest of changes and fitness, that there would be some rotation. Surprised at any of those? Excited by any of those? What's your reaction?
Hold on. We've got to say that. Come on, where is that?
You speak and I'll get it out for you.
It's just caught my eye there. I like that one as well. Basically, what we've got here is the M6 is a car park, so that's the first thing. And then anybody who's familiar with the back of this stand, you have to get here by a certain time, otherwise the road is closed. And sure enough, the road was closed, so we had to go all the way around the houses.
A nice tour, West Bromwich.
All in the rush hour, which you don't need, but we didn't miss the kick-off, so that's the main thing. And nobody's really too bothered whether me or you get here in time or not, I'm sure. But somebody was saying it's down to Sam leaving, so maybe it is. But I can assure you, hopefully the night improves from here. But we're here, and we're looking down at Norwich's. Who was that? Was that Grimshaw? Was it?
Molden, isn't it? I think, yeah.
Louis Molden. He's gone full Rennie Higuita there for you older consumers of content. So Norwich's keepers are already out with the keeper coaches. Blustery all night here in the Hawthorns.
Cold.
I'm filling because I'm trying to remember what you asked about. 3 changes, was it, Connor?
3 changes, yeah. Excited by any of them?
Schwartau in the 10, yeah. I mean, we saw quite an interesting cameo, I thought, at the end of the game against Wrexham when he initially came on at half-time with Springett, both starting tonight in those positions again. But when Papagiallo came in a bit later on, he moved inside, and I thought there was some good signs from him to the point where I bowled that at Philippe yesterday, and I thought his answer was quite illuminating, and he's backed it up by the fact he's trusted him tonight. He talked about how mature he is and how he has the technical ability and the intelligence to play that role. So huge responsibility on his shoulders tonight, and good to see Ali Ahmed can go again. That's a testament to him and his fitness levels. Slight, maybe for me, a surprise that Springett gets a start, because it feels like it might be a game where, but equally I can, when I think about it, Jurasek didn't really convince.
Tired, didn't he?
Yeah. So, and the options aren't plentiful given Makama has to lead the line. So, yeah, you can probably see why he's gone that route today. And the good thing, by looking at that bench, it underlines again what you said yesterday to us. You look there now and you see Anis Ben Slimani and you see 1 or 2 others there. It feels like he's got options if he needs to use them in the way this game unfolds, and that hasn't necessarily been the case too often under this head coach. So there's a lot of depth now, it feels, to this match day selection. And it's not a surprise, but it's an intriguing one for me to see Schwartau in the 10. I thought Anis Ben Slimani showed what he can offer in that role, but tonight is a little chance for Oscar Schwartau to put forward his case. And there's no doubt that the way they're going, and you throw Jacob Wright into the equation, I think that's probably lessening the need for them to actively go and bring a 10 in. They're still looking, we know that, but I think it's probably slipped down the pecking order, and that's a testament maybe to Slimani, to Schwartau, and previously to Jacob Wright. So, and as we know, certainly the events of the last 12 hours or so, they might be looking at other areas.
Hold that thought. We'll come back to that in a little while. I'm really excited to see Oscar Schwartau in the 10. I think for me it's a position that I've kind of felt would be his natural evolution. That is where he would play, and I think we've seen the qualities that he has, his ball carrying, his ability, and Johannes Hawthorns used to speak about this, to arrive in the box at the right time and whatnot. And I think he's done well by and large. I think he's been one of the I recognise people are going to shout because of maybe it hasn't been backed up in goals and assists and numbers, but I've been impressed with him this year. I think he has kicked on. I think there has been a consistency to his game, and in a struggling team, for a 19-year-old lad to step up in the way he has done, I think has been impressive. And I still think at some point he's going to explode in terms of goal contributions. You forget how young he is. He could have been playing for their under-21s basically for the entirety of this season. So looking forward to seeing him there. Of course, Anis Ben Slimani did that role. I felt we've really impressed in that role. Wasn't perfect probably as a performance, and if Jovi Makama puts that opportunity through in the 55th minute away at Wrexham, it would have been a hell of an assist for him. So, but I guess naturally, because of how he's come back and come from the cold, there was always going to be that need to rotate players, but near enough the same squad that we saw on Saturday. And that means, Paddy, another start for Ali Ahmed. And I think we were probably both impressed by what was a very lively opening 20 minutes from him, albeit probably understandably so. Wrexham made some tweaks within that as well, but faded a little bit before coming off at half-time.
Understandably, yeah. I mean, we know basically what he's had to do is short-circuit a pre-season. Finished with Vancouver in December. I think he said in his club interview he'd only had a week and a half off, and because he felt there was an opportunity, and as it turned out there was, to make that move to Europe. And 2 full weeks to train, unencumbered from FA Cup involvement, and straight in. And he did quite well. And we might ask the head of comms to come on and talk about Ali Ahmed. He's only come over here to wind us up about our late arrival. That's what this is boiling down. Yeah, we were late. Yeah. We don't need to go into that again. But and the beauty of it, of course, is if he shows any signs of fatigue, we've got Papa Ahmed. We're getting heckled now by the head of comms. It's very unprofessional, Daniel. But is that he can interchange now with Papa Jallo, and we saw, I thought, some good signs from him when he came on 20 minutes, and hopefully tonight he can go a bit longer. And as Philippe said yesterday, what a great situation now to be in on that left-hand side of the three. You've got two real attacking options. They're not just, and you mentioned there about Schwartau maybe needing to add assists and that element. They're not filling in for me. They are specialists in that area, and we saw with Ali Ahmed, first thought within a minute of that kick-off Saturday, get the ball drive, try and get something going, and as he did for that brilliant pass for Anis Ben Slimani, and then very unfortunate not to get on the score sheet. He just feels already in a very small period of time, as like Jallo was at the start of the season, when he's on the ball, you feel something could happen. And if it's the type of game tonight, like they got maybe second half against Wrexham, where they will try and dominate the ball and try and pin Norwich back in transitional moments, counter-attacking moments, to have that outlet down the left-hand side with Makama obviously in the mix as well, could be quite a useful attribute tonight, I think.
What do you make of the centre-back change? Jose Cordoba again. I've been really impressed with him in the opportunities he's played. I spoke to him after the game on Saturday at Wrexham, and he was kind of really pleased to be back and enjoying that partnership that he's had with Rory McConville. We saw it at QPR. I thought those two were very good that day. I thought they were very good on Saturday. It feels like a real blossoming partnership. But clearly, again, I guess where he is out fitness-wise as well, to go for a second time in 3 or 4 days would have probably proven difficult. So Harry Darling back in. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, we don't know. I mean, that has to be maybe the equation. Has he got the third as well?
Apparently not.
No, he's not got the third.
We'll come to it.
Okay, I don't know who we're talking about, but yeah. Little bit surprised, purely on the evidence of what he produced at QPR alongside McConville, Walsall, albeit it was Walsall, and then Saturday, Wrexham. I thought they looked very good. I thought they were looking aggressive in terms of their defending, one-on-one. When they had to deal with that aerial threat, both at QPR and Wrexham, they stood up to that challenge. And, I have to be honest, that's a little surprise. But, Harry Darling probably, you could argue, hasn't done too much wrong to come out the side. And maybe that's just, as he said yesterday, there's areas of this team he can rotate. And for him, he doesn't feel like the quality drops. And let's be honest, when Darling came in alongside McConville for that 7-8 game period immediately after the Birmingham one, the first one from Clermont, they look quite solid as well. So, you can see why he's gone that route, but I do think if you're Cordoba, unless there is some fitness-related issue, But of course, he's had his issues in terms of load and management of load. So maybe they're just being a little bit cautious. But yeah, I have to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised on the evidence of what they were producing. But again, it underlines, in that central defensive equation, there's one constant, and it's Rory McConville, and it's a credit to that man that he is now seen as that under Philippe Clement, that he rotates, but he doesn't rotate that young man. So credit to him.
No, absolutely not. Let's bring you the West Brom team, and then we'll come on to other matters. It's Griffiths in goal, Bielich, Phillips, Mepham and Taylor there back four, Price and Styles the midfield two, Grant, Johnson and Iling Jr. behind Josh Maggio, who comes in for Hedgebo up top. Their subs, Wildsmith, Campbell, Wallace, Malumbi, DK, Gilchrist, Hegebo, Mowat and Bostock. Obviously, it's a new era here at the Hawthorns under Eric Ramsey, who succeeded Ryan Mason earlier this month, joined from Minnesota in the MLS, former Manchester United, Chelsea coach, very highly rated, and a name that I think has been circulated for a long time in regards to EFL vacancies during his time at those clubs. Still obviously looking for his first win in charge of West Brom. His first game ended with a 3-2 defeat to Middlesbrough here on Friday night, and clearly the magnitude of this game as well, which is at the start of play, there is 4 points between these two teams. If either team can win this game, it feels pretty seismic for their season. West Brom do it, they're 7 points clear of Norwich, and by default, the drop zone. Norwich do it, 1 point between those two teams, and suddenly it's beginning to look significantly rosier on their survival front. So it's a big evening for both teams. We'll come on to the game in general at the moment, but there is another game at the moment that Norwich fans have their eye on, Paddy, and that is over in Norway, where Manchester City have just pulled a goal back. Bodo Glimt 3, Manchester City 1. I might need your help with the pronunciation because I've forgotten already, but Kasper Tjur,
if you want to go that way,
I'm sure someone will correct us.
Yeah.
We'll go with that until corrected, otherwise I'm sure there'll be some Scandinavians on here who can help us out. Some Norwich City interest in him, and he's only gone and got a brace against Manchester City tonight. It's not bad going, that. If not ideal.
It might be detrimental to what clearly there is interest. I mean, there was reports this morning almost led you to think they were in the final stages of something. It's far removed from that. And you now worry what the effect of such a high-profile goal-scoring appearance against a team as good as Manchester City in a competition as high-profile as the Champions League does. I think what we know is he is a player of interest. He wasn't the only player of interest in terms of strikers. And you have to be honest, you think after tonight's episode, I mean, he's not going to be less interested in him, is there? So that's a bit of a concern. But we'll see. But our sense was, and obviously we've been travelling this afternoon and these things move on very quickly. We won't say we bumped into in a certain services, but it might be somebody who's quite central to this process. And he was very much in England. He wasn't on a plane to Norway, as I said to him. So that in itself, coupled with the fact that this guy started. But do you think if there was a deal in the final throws he plays tonight in Norway? No. So you piece it all together, like these things are, like a transfer jigsaw. Player of interest, nothing more than that, I think it's safe to say. And maybe less interest because of what he's doing currently now against Manchester City. So, but we'll continue to ask the questions of the people who know, and we'll just see where that's moved in the last few hours. But we have been out of the loop a little bit. But certainly before we departed, I think the sense was, don't jump to a conclusion that there's a bid and all parties are agreed and he's about to board a plane. Clearly that isn't the case. So but for me, the most intriguing element of that equation is, and we've reported it obviously this morning, is that it looks like Big Phil has now had the green light to go and bring in a striker, irrespective of what happens to another striker who isn't here again tonight. So
there you go. I was right. Let's provide this Kasper. Yeah.
There you go.
So there you go. That's close enough.
My sense is we won't need to be perfecting it too much now moving forward. But for me, the exciting element is that with a fair win, they are going to try and do a striker. It might be this lad, it might not be this lad now after tonight, but they are looking to do one, and that's another intriguing element in the saga around Mr. Sargent. So that to me feels like Clement has asked and Clement has got. So now it goes over to Ben Napper, Lee Dunn, and all those analysts to get one over the line, and let's see what develops in the next 10 days or so. But my sense now, Connor, is it's not going to be a dull end to the window. So there's only one place you need to be, and that's on our channels. And
we'll try and be
promise
here
to be here on time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Are you going to ask any Josh Sargent related questions tonight, or
tonight?
Yeah.
Give him a night off. Let's see how to get on. Yeah, let's see how to get on. Yeah. No, hold on. No, I will tell you when there's a change. Is what he said.
Yeah.
But we might be asking him a question or two about a certain Danish striker. We'll see what he says on that. My sense is it'll be a dead bat or straight bat, but we'll ask and we'll see what he says.
Yeah, we will indeed. How do you see it going tonight? For the reasons that we mapped out, I know Philippe Clement and Norwich aren't looking at league tables, but if you do allow yourself to look at a league table, this is a big one.
As you said, Connor, you win tonight, and then West Brom are firmly in sucked in. But as it stands, I think even a point, because Portsmouth play tomorrow night, even a point tonight gets Norwich out of the bottom three for the first time in the thick end of 3 months.
October, yeah.
I know the head coach says that's almost an irrelevance, but nevertheless, psychologically.
Let me just interject, because there's been a disallowed goal.
Somebody said,
Kasper Schür would have had a hat-trick, but offside.
Why do you keep going on about him, Connor?
Well, I've just got BBC updates.
Stop keep going on about him. You're talking him up now. But I'm leaning towards a draw tonight. I think you have to factor in it's a new head coach here. The players, there'll be a natural uplift. They didn't quite get the result, but albeit Middlesbrough are really going for it at the top end of the table. We saw a little bit of the game on the telly Friday night, and they look quite good. I like Carlin Grant. I think he's a very good operator at this level. So I don't think it'll be an easy assignment tonight. But if you walked off the pitch tonight, you've took a point here, you've took 3 from Wrexham. That's a hell of a return for me. 4 points from 2 tough away games, and then back to Carrow Road for the small matter of Coventry. But I'm going to go draw. Connor, score draw. You
big Norwich win. That's what I'm going to go with. Marginal 2-1. And to cap off a good week. The only thing that they haven't really done yet under Philippe Clement is win back-to-back games. So that would be fantastic if they could go and do that in 2 away games to really improve their survival hopes. So I'm going to go with that. Fully, maybe I haven't quite come down from the Saturday win yet, but that's what I'm going to go with, and let's hope this Norwich City team can deliver. Pinken.com, the place to go tonight for all your coverage, analysis and reaction to this game, and Paddy will be speaking to Philippe Clement after the game, and Danny has said your punishment for being late, you've got to ask him multiple Josh Sargent questions.
I've had a bad enough night as it is. I don't really need to be given a flea in my ear all the way home. But we'll see. Well,
hopefully you'll be asking about a brilliant Norwich City win. Thank you all very much for joining us. Apologies for being late, but you all saw the team news anyway. We were here in the end. See you soon.